since we first set foot on Inazuma. So many things have happened since then. Yeah, we've definitely made some progress on our journey. So, where should we go today? Huh? What's up? Hey! What the heck was that for? Doesn't want to talk, huh? Alright, let's convince him to calm down a little.
Sakura Swirl!
Huh? So you don't have a vision after all? Seems like I've mistaken you for someone else.
At the very least, you should make sure you've got the right... No, wait! Even when you...
Have you ever met someone by the name of Kaedahara Kazuha? He carries a sword just like you. I've also heard that he possesses an animo vision. That's none of your business. Never mind. You don't look like you know anything anyway. I'm wasting my time.
What the heck is this guy's problem? Coming around here, waving that weird sword in our face. Well, one thing's for sure. No way are we telling him anything about Kazuha. Hey! Don't be mean! Paimon's smart lots of the time! Anyway, just to be on the safe side, we should go fight Kaz... Oh? What kind of hunch? A special connection? You mean beyond already? Yeah, maybe a little. But then again, most people look pretty much the same once they start... Anyway, there's no time to lose. Let's go tell Kazuha so we won't get into any danger. Paimon heard that the Crux fleet is stocking up in Rito at the moment. Let's look for him there. Kazuha is.
You're looking for Kazuha too, huh? Guess he must have done something impressive after all. Well, we took the small vessels into Rito on a routine supply run, only this time... If it's because of that battle on Nizuchi Beach, Captain Beto had a great run there too, but I don't see her getting this kind of attention. Kazuha keeps to himself most of the time. In fact, there are times when he doesn't even listen to the captain, but she just laughs it off.
Oh, so you still don't know what he did?
I've heard bits and pieces. Something about him blocking the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. Is it really as big a deal as everyone's making it out to be? Really? Wow. When you put it like that, it all makes sense. In that case, his newfound stardom is well deserved. He was called away earlier by some people from the Tenryo Commission. They said I thought they'd come to arrest him at first. Turns out they couldn't have been friendlier to him. Seems like they really respect the guy.
Just a little while ago, this would have been completely unimaginable. Thank you! Guess we'll go pay a visit to the tent.
All right then. I'll just stay here and carry on trying to fend off the crowd.
Try and stop me!
Oh? It's you.
Greetings. We were just discussing the repealing of the Vision Hunt Decree. Since you're here, you're very welcome to listen in on the conversation. We invited Mr. Kaidahara here to extend a gesture of goodwill on behalf of the Shogunate. Your hard work has secured for us the agreeable state of affairs that we now enjoy. Also, I've been granted the chance to correct my clan's past mistakes, and for that, I'm deeply grateful. The Almighty Shogun has issued a large array of directives aimed at resolving, or at least easing, the tensions that have built up over the years. The Tri-Commission has made the recommendation to use this opportunity to restore the honor of the Kaidahara name. Regarding the history of the Kaidahara clan, I trust that you're already somewhat informed? In short, there was once a group of select bladesmiths who served the Shogun directly, responsible for upholding and further developing the traditional blade forging arts of the Almighty Shogun. The Kaidahara clan belonged to this class, but there came a time when some of these bladesmiths revolted and fled to Snezhnaya. Both the Kaidahara and Kamisato clans were held accountable for lax oversight and entered a period of great... We later learned that the whole misadventure had been secretly orchestrated by the Fatui. Attributing all of the blame to the Kamisato and Kaidahara clans was neither proper nor just. Considering Mr. Kaidahara has once more made an outstanding contribution to Inazuma, the Almighty Shogun believes he should not only be rewarded for his achievements, in the interest of preventing further harassment of the Bladesmith clans by the Fatui, we chose not to publicly release the findings of our investigations into these matters. We trust you can understand why this was necessary.
This is a true honor. I am delighted to be in a position to receive the goodwill of the Almighty Shogun and the Shogunate at large. However, would I be correct to assume that this magnanimous gesture...
I can assure you that nothing could be further from the truth. With the Kaidahara clan's reputation and occupation restored, the Kaidaharas will be bladesmiths once more, and your wanderings will finally come to an end. You will be able to lead a safe and prosperous life in Inazuma City with the Almighty Shogun's blessing and full support of the Shogunate.
I have grown accustomed to life among the elements. I fear I would no longer feel at home behind the tall walls of a stately abode. Yet my ancestors did indeed take great pride in the name of Kaidahara, and the art of blade making for which it stood.
I sense some hesitation in your words. Should you accept this offer, I imagine many of the malicious rumors currently circulating through the populace will disappear.
Malicious rumors? Oh, we heard on the way.
Well, to some, the Muso no Hitotachi is something that can never be defeated. They cannot accept the idea that Mr. Kaidahara really parried the Shogun's strike. Also, eyewitnesses saw him using the power of Electro in addition to that of Animo. As a result, the falsehood that Kaidahara Kazuha was using a delusion began to spread.
What? But that doesn't make sense.
That is correct. However, to some people, the idea of a single person wielding two elements at once is a...
This is just one of many similar rumors. I am very uncomfortable with being the subject of... But perhaps if the Shogunate is willing to publicly support me, this
is precisely why I encourage you to give our offer some serious thought. It stands to benefit all of us.
Please allow me some time to consider. In fact, let us put this discussion on hold for the moment. Well then.
Yikes! We nearly forgot about the most
Why would such a dangerous individual be looking for me? No. This puzzles me as much as it does you. My fighting forms were taught to me by my family, based on techniques originally developed for blade testing. We undergo rigorous training to standardize every motion the blade is put through, so that each can be fairly assessed for quality. Over time, these techniques came to form something of a Kaedehara sword art, focused on blade testing, but with a full repertoire of combat. Those forms are quite different from the more practical ones typically used by samurai in battle. So it's hard to imagine that the similarity you speak of was coincidence alone.
All the more reason to watch your back!
Indeed. He sounds highly aggressive. Anyone
In that case, I will send some men out immediately to search for him.
Thank you. I must say, I am now very curious about this matter. I will first join the Traveler in investigating the one—
Very well. Please stay safe.
Come on. Let's go and track down your aggressor.
The detective agency knows the most about what goes on in town. Let's see what Ryuji has to say.
Rev the engines!
Hey there! We'd like to ask you a quick question. Do you know if anyone around here has been looking for him? For kind of...
Aha! So this is the renowned Mr. Kaedehara. I've heard a lot about you. It is an honor to finally meet you today.
You are too kind. We are currently investigating an assault and would appreciate any help you can offer.
Oh? You were targeted in an assault? Let me think. I can't seem to recall anything if Mr. Kaedehara is currently the talk of the town, so there are always— To be honest with you, our detective agency has recently been receiving many inquiries from people wishing to obtain Mr. Kaedehara's personal information. Some of them were offering us millions of mora just to gather the information they want. If these were more legitimate commissions, Sango would have snapped them up in an instant.
Millions? Of mora? Whoa! Oh, wait. Even at that price, you probably still...
Please, accept my thanks for looking out for my privacy.
Of course. No matter what, we only take on legitimate cases. We don't make our money by revealing details of other people's day-to-day life just for the sake of it. Sorry, I got a little off topic. What I'm really trying to say is, it doesn't surprise me, but I wouldn't know where to begin if we want to connect this with an assault.
Then let's put that connection aside for now. The Tenryou Commission had very few leads, and I thought—
It's true that the commissioners aren't clued up about every little thing that goes on out in the streets. But typically, it's only the most trivial events that manage to escape their attention. If anyone had been out there attacking people, that would be assault, in which case the Tenryou Commission would absolutely get involved.
That does make sense. Uh-oh. Looks like the trail's already run cold.
I still find it difficult to believe that whoever attacked you hasn't been causing any trouble elsewhere. Few people possess your prowess in battle. So unless you were the first person he targeted, someone is certain to have been hurt by now. I am well aware of your talents. There is no need to be humble around me. In fact, I'm quite relieved that you were the one he targeted. It would cause me great grief to see someone become critically injured or lose their life because of me. For the poor victim, this would be a completely senseless crime.
Don't worry, we'll find him.
It seems you are every bit the selfless hero they make you out to be, Mr. Kaidehara. Surely this same concern for your fellow man is what drove you to fearlessly raise your blade against the almighty Shogun.
You flatter me. Truth be told, I don't know quite what came over me in that moment.
You are much too humble. Don't worry, I completely understand your concerns. I will try my best to gather whatever leads I can for you. Oh, actually, there was one strange incident over the last few days. It doesn't involve an attack, though. Let me tell you about it just in case.
Sure. During times like this, the more information we have, the better.
All right then. Recently, 2 people went missing from the city at around the same time. One of them is a pretty well-known collector, surnamed Nagato. The other, Amenoma Yuya, is a samurai from the Amenoma clan.
Amenoma! Now there's a familiar...
Right. Yuya is the nephew of Amenoma Togo, the owner of Amenoma. 2 grown men going missing at the same time. I recalled this because Amenoma Yuya is also an accomplished martial artist who is skilled with the blade. Perhaps he is...
Understood, though it seems highly unlikely to me. I neither know this man, nor do I have any idea why he may wish to attack me.
Sure! Can't hurt! We never know what we might find out along the way.
Thank you, Ryuji. We'll start by making some inquiries at the Amenoma smithy.
Sounds good. All the best with your investigation. I'll get moving shortly myself.
If it isn't Kaedehara Kazuha, what brings you here today?
Huh? You 2 know each other?
Yes, the Kaedehara and Amenoma clans were both members of the Raiden Gokaden. Historically, there have always been deep links between the 2 clans. After I returned to Inazuma, I visited Mr. Amenoma to pay my respects. Let me quickly explain. The Raiden Gokaden was the collective term for the 5 most acclaimed bladesmithing arts in Inazuma. The techniques of blade making were personally bequeathed to the Raiden Gokaden by the almighty Shogun, and over time, further honed and enhanced by the most talented craftsmen. Unfortunately, a series of events led to the gradual decline of many clans in the bladesmithing trade. Today, only the Amenoma clan has kept its art alive.
So sad.
It is a great pity indeed. In the old days, we each had our specialties, and just as iron sharpens iron, so too did we learn much from each other. As an example, the Amenoma art strives to emulate the abiding patience and determination of water as it turns stone to sand. There is nothing mystical to our work. There is only practice, day in and day out, until both body and mind have memorized the craft, turning each motion of every technique into an intrinsic part of the bladesmith's life. As for the art of the Kaedehara clan, I believe it's called the Ishin art.
That's right. Ishin art strives for complete harmony between blade and mind from the moment that forging begins. For only a blade thus forged can capture and convey its maker's thoughts and feelings, and eventually become an extension of its wielder's will.
Indeed. Most samurai choose their blades, but an Ishin blade chooses its owner. You are, without a doubt, the most worthy wielder of an Ishin blade. It gladdens my heart to see that although the Kaedahara clan has fallen on hard times, its ideals and virtues are alive and well.
You overestimate me. My actions are guided by my own personal sentiments, not by any noble aspirations on behalf of my clan. But let's get back on topic. The purpose of our visit today is to gather some information on your missing nephew. We hope to assist with the investigation. It may turn out that this case is connected to another we are pursuing.
Ah, yes. My nephew. I reported that he didn't say a word before he left, which is very unlike him. I'm still completely at a loss on what to make of it. But I've done what I can so far. Worrying is futile. All I can do now is wait for the news from the Tenryo Commission.
We heard that there was a collector involved in the disappearance too. Know anything about that?
Yes. On the morning that Yuya went missing, he gave me a very cryptic look and said that he was going to give me a... I believe he went to collect the item from Mr. Nagato after that. The next thing I heard was that a fire had broken out at the warehouse. And neither of them... Yes. Strange, isn't it? I wonder what could have caused it. Unfortunately, there was very little evidence left behind, so nobody knows what really happened.
Do you have any thoughts on what Yuya may have wanted to give you?
If I had to guess, it must have been some kind of rare weapon. Otherwise, there would have been no reason for him to get my hopes up. He's never been particularly interested in blade forging, but has always had a fondness for blade testing, and can sense even the most minute differences in blade quality. He is extraordinarily talented in martial arts, particularly when it comes to the art of the sword.
Truth be told, we have some information that you may find to be objectionable. The person we are looking for, he attacked this friend of mine. Based on the evidence we have gathered so far, only Yuya seems to match the suspect's profile.
What? No. Absolutely impossible. Yuya is not that kind of person. He is humble and kind. Even his training is done with the goal of calming his mind. He has never gotten into a fight before.
Is that so?
Yes. If there's one thing I can say for certain, it's that Yuya would never draw his blade without a very good reason. But, with that said, it's equally out of character for him to just disappear with neither farewell nor fair warning. I also cannot know what course of action he might be capable of if coerced or otherwise compelled by circumstances unbeknownst to me. Anyway, should you find him, please let me know as soon as possible.
Don't worry. You have our word.
From the sound of that, Paimon doesn't think Yuya was the one who attacked us as well.
Yes. It sounds as if something happened when the two men met. Let's pay a visit to the Nagato household.
Try and stop me!
I'm very sorry, but we cannot afford to pay what we owe right now. My husband has gone missing, and I'm still trying to find him.
No, you misunderstand us. We are here to help.
I see. I thought the debt collectors had come to visit again. I'm sorry you have to see me in this dreadful state. Has some new information come out? Do you know where he's gone?
I'm afraid we don't have any new information at the moment. We're still trying to find out as much as we can to inform our search. With this in mind, can we perhaps ask some questions about your family's current situation?
For example, Paimon's struggling to understand why a collector would be strapped for Mora.
That's a long story. Ever since I've known him, he's been an avid collector of all sorts of things. He'd always get so animated when he was showing them to me. I knew nothing about the items myself, but seeing how enthusiastic and excited they made him, I was happy to believe that they were just extremely important to him. Everything was fine when we first got married, but as time went by, things changed for the worse.
Uh-oh! What happened?
He lost his sense of restraint. He started buying more and more things, and even resorted to borrowing money just so he could pay for them. Our expenses really spiraled out of control when he started getting interested in weapons. It was awful. There were days when he'd spend hours down at the warehouse, admiring his weapons even as debt collectors were descending upon our house. He wouldn't sell them, wouldn't even touch them. Just sat there staring at them like he was in a trance. I'm happy he has a hobby, and I'm willing to support him, but making ends meet has to come first. I've tried talking to him about it so many times, but he never listens. On the last day that I saw him, I gave him an ultimatum. I said, if he refused to sell his collectibles and pay off his debts, I would divorce him and take the children with me.
Whoa!
And that led to an argument.
Actually, it didn't. Generally, he's a quiet man who likes to go with the flow. On most things, he leaves the decision-making to me. You must understand, I never would have dreamed of threatening him with divorce if the debts hadn't pushed our family to the brink. After I said those words, he froze and was silent for a long time. When he finally spoke, he awkwardly mumbled that he would pick out a few items to sell. His voice was so meek and pitiful that I felt an urge to take everything back. But then what? If I didn't draw the line, what would happen to our family? Had I not indulged his bad habits, we wouldn't have found ourselves in such... And I also don't know if he had actually come to his senses, or if he was simply angry with me. The next thing I heard was that our warehouse had caught fire, and both he and the buyer had gone missing.
I see. I understand. Amin Omayuya came to purchase a weapon from Mr. Nagato. During the sale, a fire broke out at the warehouse, and both men disappeared.
At first, I assumed they must have gotten into an argument over the price. But my husband has never been one to negotiate. He never even haggles when he's out buying groceries, so it's hard to imagine him getting into a fierce argument.
Maybe he was feeling the pressure from the debts?
I don't know. He just disappeared after the warehouse burned down. Perhaps he's too afraid to come home now that all his collectibles have been lost in the fire, and he's got no way to pay off our debts. Even though I'm still a little mad at him, we're a family, and I want us to face our family's crisis together. As long as he's willing to turn over a new leaf, I know we can work things out.
Please don't get upset. There could be more to this situation than meets the eye. If collecting things is a habit that Mr. Nagato had his whole life, it is quite unusual for this habit to change so drastically over a short period. But the information we gathered from the other side suggests Amin Omayuya is also a mild-mannered man who would not be likely to start an argument. This situation is getting a little confusing.
A little confusing? More like completely mystifying.
Let's try a change of scenery and see if we can piece together what we've learned. Rest assured, we'll notify you if we find anything.
Thank you so much. I just want him to come home.
Based on the information we've gathered so far, I can only surmise that the sales meeting between the two men was somehow the catalyst for their disappearance. The fire at the warehouse likely played a part in how the situation unfolded, though its exact role is a mystery. Do you have any thoughts?
Well, Paimon was thinking that maybe someone accidentally knocked over an oil lamp and, nope, never mind. Paimon's brain needs to rest for a while. Over to you.
that is the most likely conclusion based on everything we know. What started as a disagreement. However, in this case, only one of the parties would have started the fire. If this is indeed what happened, and the innocent man hasn't come forward yet, then one fact that I keep coming back to is that Amenoma Yuya is polite and well-mannered, while Mr. Nagato is introverted and passive. Neither seems like the type of person who is inclined towards initiating conflict. Mr. Nagato, being heavily in debt, is also the only one of them with the potential motive to disappear after the fire. The more I ponder it, the more puzzling it becomes. Just what could have happened there? Although the time frame seems to broadly match, no other details that we've learned seem to link the two events together. Amenoma Yuya lacks a key distinguishing feature of the attacker, namely that he is principally a practitioner of the blade testing techniques of Amenoma art, not those of the combat-oriented Ishin art.
Darn! We thought we could get two birds with one stone here, but at this rate, it's starting to look like a wild goose chase.
Let's keep going, since we've come this far. If we can solve the case, both Mr. Amenoma and Mrs. Nagato will be able to get some closure.
Okay, but where should we go now?
Let's head out of the city and check out the warehouse. There's still a chance we may be able to find some shreds of evidence.
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
Exploration and trials. Adventuring is right up my alley.
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding
What other
adventurer?
monumental changes could be lying just around the corner? What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner? What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
Becoming an outstanding adventurer.
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
First step in becoming an outstanding adventurer.
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
What What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner? Changes could be lying just around the corner. Changes could be lying just around the corner.
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner? What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
Instead of confining themselves to the heavens, God should broaden their horizons in the world below.
First step in becoming an outstanding adventurer.
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
exploration and trials. Adventuring is right up my alley.
Monumental changes could be lying just around the corner.
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
First step in becoming an outstanding adventurer. What's my first step in becoming an
What other
outstanding
monumental
adventurer?
changes could be lying just around the corner? What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
Outstanding adventurer.
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
Many insects have a compulsion to follow the light, and humans are the same.
What's my first
Except we call that light hope.
outstanding adventurer?
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
adventurer.
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
Exploration and trials. Adventuring is right up my alley.
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
What's my first step in becoming an
Many insects have a compulsion to follow the light, and humans are the same. Except we call that light hope.
Monumental changes could be lying just around the corner.
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
Instead of confining themselves to the heavens, God should broaden their horizons in the world below.
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding adventurer?
What other monumental changes could be lying just around the corner?
What's my first step in becoming an outstanding
What other monumental changes could be lying just around?
Wait. I hear something ominous in the
Oh! This must be another one of those, as sketchy as that whole thing seems. You did put it to good use when we were chasing down that vision thief at Beto's.
Now I'm picking up a strong scent in addition to the sound. It's right around here somewhere.
But there's nothing here.
It's gone now, but I can still sense the direction it left in. It felt very much like that ancient presence in Inazuma, the remnants of the Tatarigami. Indeed. But this unexpected spring of inauspicious energy may prove to be of benefit to our investigation. We should remain vigilant and approach slowly.
So it's an
The force is definitely coming from down below. The source of the Tatarigami energy has long since left this place, but the residue it left behind, judging from the concentration, I would have to conclude that the Tatarigami source resided here for a very long time.
Mrs. Nagato said her husband used to hang around the warehouse by himself a lot.
It could well be that he was already under the influence of Tatarigami energy at that time. From what I've been told, Tatarigami does not turn all upon whom it preys into violent monsters, but most will develop a stubborn streak upon being exposed to the Tatarigami's unfulfilled will. Their interests become fanatical obsessions. Mr. Nagato had an interest in collecting to begin with. The influence of Tatarigami could explain why he became an obsessive hoarder, amassing more and more possessions even as he put himself in grave debt.
So what should we do now? Go down and take a look?
Step back. I'll open the door and take a look inside. If we don't open this door, we can move no closer to the truth. You needn't worry. Both of us have faced far greater dangers than this. Relatively speaking, the risk here is trivial.
What's down there?
Everything's buried in debris. I can't see anything. It looks like the fire caused a cave-in, reducing the entire warehouse to rubble.
That was too scary! Paimon was so sure that the warehouse boogeyman was about to jump out at us!
All we can do now is keep searching in the direction that the Tatarigami energy's source left this place. 2 ordinary humans, entangled with the Tatarigami. I fear much misfortune has already befallen them. Yes, let's go. If nothing else, it's vital that we find out where this Tatarigami energy is coming from. Quiet your mind and focus on what you sense around you. Perhaps you too will perceive its ominous presence in the wind.
Rev the engines!
From this point, the trail appears to... The main source of the Tatarigami energy continued on into the distance, but a small portion remained here. Quite possibly. Let's...
Whoa! Look at all those hilly churls! They're acting really strangely!
Something seems to be drawing their attention. Let's take a closer look.
Look at this red stuff!
By the looks of it, a letter written on a piece of torn clothing. The ink is, well, let's take a look. According to this letter, a conflict arose because Amenoma Yuya wanted to seize a blade belonging to Mr. Nagato. Yuya started the fire that destroyed the warehouse and wounded Mr. Nagato in the fight. Mr. Nagato kept chase as long as he could, eventually stopping here to write this letter when his strength gave out.
So, where is he?
He was not only mortally wounded, but also under the heavy influence of Tatarigami. Add to that the fact that its aura seems to have attracted a horde of monsters, and I'm afraid he may no longer be with us. Whatever traces there may have been of his fate beyond after this point, they've since been disturbed by the hilly churls. There's nothing more for us to find here. Yes, right now we need to uncover some more important truths. If Amenoma Yuya is attacking other people indiscriminately, then the longer we take to find him, the more people risk meeting the same tragic end.
Right, so let's get moving!
I wouldn't be surprised if he too fell prey to the influence of the Tatarigami. For a practitioner of the martial arts, the easiest desire to inflame would be their pursuit of further power and skill. All the clues that at first seemed disparate and disconnected, it seems that now we know the thread that runs between them. I have a hypothesis that, if it's correct, not only explains the series of events leading to the two men's disappearance, but also zeroes in on the attacker's identity.
Wait! You figured it out? So these two cases are connected after all?
I believe so. But it's something of an outlandish idea. I will only be able to confirm my suspicions once we've met him in person. On with the search. We must stay vigilant. At any point now, we may find ourselves in danger. Time to go. He seems to have stayed here for a long time.
Why here? Is there anything special about this place?
I'm not sure. But on closer examination, I sense that the aura may have lingered here at several different points in time. Show yourself!
Kaedehara Kazuha. It's you, at last.
Aha! So it is the same guy from... What's your problem, huh? What could...
Indeed, there should be no enmity between us. If it is Amenoma Yuya that stands before us. But what if instead of facing Amenoma Yuya, we are in fact facing the blade in his hand?
Now that you mention it, it is giving off a strange light. Whoa, whoa! Surely you don't mean... Are you serious?
Tatarigami energy often lodges itself within physical objects, then works to subtly affect any living organisms in its vicinity. The blade has resided in Mr. Nagato's warehouse for many years, affecting his state of mind. and more recently using the sail as a means to affect, or rather, as a means to occupy, Ame no Mayuya's body.
You're sharper than I thought. You've already deduced the truth of the matter. Many, many years ago, I was forged by a famed bladesmith of the Ishin tradition. I was his pride and joy. In me, he placed all his hopes and dreams. As a descendant of the Kaedehara clan, you should be able to guess our greatest regret.
I presume it has something to do with the Raiden Gokaden.
Indeed. At that point in time, he failed to live up to the Raiden Shogun's expectations. In the end, all he could do was to flee the nation by sea. He was a bladesmith of great renown, a master of his craft. There was nothing that he could not accomplish. All he needed was more time and a little faith. And sure enough, in the end, he achieved what he had set out to do. All of his life's work, his wisdom, his skill, it culminated in his creation of me. He not only bestowed upon me the greatest of strength, but also endowed me with a consciousness of my own. In her conceit, the Raiden Shogun lost not only the single most perfect blade in the entire world, but also an irreplaceable achievement in the art of blade forging.
So, swords can...
The people of the time in which I was born never believed I had that kind of power. They saw me as a mere blade, a sharp and well-crafted one, but in all other respects an ordinary weapon. After the death of my creator, I decided to leave Snezhnaya and began my long quest to return to the distant land of Inazuma. Moving from one person to the next, I seek but one thing: to face the full force of the Raiden Shogun's blade and prove my power, the might of Ishin art.
So Ame no Mayuya was not your first victim. Tell me, what happens to those you've possessed?
My hosts? Who cares what happens to them? They are but tools that serve my mission. When they got tired or injured or unusable, I hopped to the next one in line. All I needed them for was to take me back to Inazuma.
You're awful!
After I returned to Inazuma, I decided to bide my time in Nagato's warehouse until Ame no Mayuya handed himself over to me on a silver platter. At long last, I'm approaching my journey's destination. By Ame no Mayuya's body, I have found you, and by your hand, I shall defeat the Raiden Shogun. Kaedehara Kazuha, you stood against the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. There can be no other to serve as my host for what is to come. Now, give your body over to me!
Whirling wind strike! Burn it down!
Rewrite history!
Everybody stand! Pyroclastic surge!
Do not stand in my way, or I will strike you down too!
Your bluff's fooling no one! You've lost!
Lost? I can never lose. It is this body that has reached its limit. Nothing, even if you defeat me here. The one who falls will not be me. He is but a puppet that can be replaced. I can take a... The end result is the same! I will end this wretch... And even if I were to lose my physical form, it is by any means necessary, and any medium available.
Your fighting style. It is indeed the forms of Ishin art. But from your movements, I sense only hatred and arrogance, as well as a thinly veiled mania and despair.
Really? You can tell all that just from his moves?
As I've mentioned before, the forms of Ishin art convey the user's thoughts and feelings. Since the blade is currently possessing Aminome Yuya's body, its movements express the innermost thoughts of the blade. If you ask me, the mania is probably due to your desperate, single-minded ambition. You believe I am your only hope.
Are you trying to claim that I am helpless without you? On his deathbed, he passed to me all of Ishin Art's secrets. The little that you know barely scratches the surface. In that regard, why would I ever need your help?
Because all of that is in the past. I've been wondering why you've not caused more trouble in all the years that you've been in Inazuma. If you are indeed a cursed blade that can possess its owner. Now that I've seen inside your mind, everything finally makes sense. You weren't biding your time. You were trapped. After all the time that's passed, you have grown weak. To the point that you are—
Oh, that's right! Paimon remembers now! Mr. Nagato had a habit of never touching his collectibles.
Only when Mr. Nagato witnessed his wife's distress and decided to sell his collectibles did you finally have an opportunity to reach out to Aminome Yuya and make your escape.
And what of it?
Well, that brings me to my second point. You were determined to fulfill your maker's ambition, whatever the cost. But this ambition is too grand and too heavy for you to bear. Each step you have taken has come at a great cost. I think you realized your limitations long ago. The more you clenched your teeth and pressed forward, the greater your fear of losing everything you had achieved. But the way I see it, what began as an ambition has long since become a delusional fantasy.
What would you know about any of this? I'm just one step away from achieving my goal.
You returned to Inazuma to prove the unparalleled brilliance of Ishin art. But to make, even if you were to sever that divine light, is this truly the outcome that your maker would have desired?
You...
Sure, you inherited the secrets of Ishin art. But even as you made your journey to honor this legacy, you treated the ones who wielded— How could you possibly unleash the full potential of Ishin art when you act in perfect discordance with the principle of harmony?
Silence, you blabbering fool! I must achieve my goal. I will concede that you are most perceptive. You see my predicament clearly.
And you should face reality.
Easy for you to say. Facing reality offers me— I have no need of anything that would stand in my way. No. It is pointless to argue further, descendant of the Kaedahara clan. If you wish to save this man, then offer me your body in exchange.
How stubbornly you— I do not believe for a second that you can challenge the almighty Shogun in your current state. So let us make a bet, and I will put your strength—
What? Surely you're not planning to agree to his demand.
Very well. Then find yourself some enemies with whom you wish to cross blades. A taste of my power will more than convince you. Once we have dealt with them, we shall proceed to Tenshukaku.
And as for your end of the bargain, if you lose—
I accept.
Don't do this, Kazuha!
This is the only way to save Aminome Yuya. If we do— The cursed blade's strength is currently very weak, and I sense he's hesitating. The power of the Tatarigami lies in intensifying existing obsessions.
But
Even if things take a turn for the worse, I still have you both here with me. We have a chance here to save an innocent victim. I am willing to accept the risks entailed.
Your disdain for me betrays your woeful ignorance. I agreed to this bet because there are things I wish to learn too. Now.
I'm okay. I felt a little dizzy at first, but it's all right. So far, this was as I expected. I will. Thank you.
What should we do next?
We find some enemies. Although this blade has endured much turmoil, it probably hasn't experienced many. If a blade built for Ishin art cannot enter a state of harmony, if he wants to avoid reality, then we need to fight until he has no choice but to face it.
Wait a minute! Paimon remembers hearing about since the Takasukasa clan abandoned that secret base, it's been held by Ronin ever since!
All right. Please lead the way.
What about Amenoma Yuya?
The blade says he'll let Amenoma Yuya trail us silently. Although he hasn't regained his own
Are we sure this is a good idea? Okay, fine. Just...
Full throttle!
Leave everything on this journey to me. One with nature.
Finally,
Clouds high, the birds call. Into the wind.
How are you feeling?
I'm all right. The blade is performing largely as I expect. Though he's making every effort to persevere, I do not think he can last much.
Something else on your mind?
How strange. Rather than trying to control... Let's keep going. One with nature.
boom!
Into the wind. As one with wind and cloud. The wind knows it.
Very high.
Something's up with the blade.
I can sense that his strength is slowly fading away. He cannot hold out much longer.
But what would that do?
I will be careful with it. He also says he does not have an... He's still trying... Time to go. Time to go. Time to go.
Fall before me!
Time to go. Clouds high. The birds call.
Are you okay? It looked like you were really struggling the entire fight.
Yes. And it looks like he's reached his limit.
The sheen's grown a bit dimmer again.
Perhaps this time we'll finally have a chance to see his
True form? Is this the same blade as before? It looks like a piece of junk!
If you choose to continue in the state you're in, you wouldn't even be able to beat Samurai and Kairagi, much less the almighty Shogun. Maybe you did truly wield power to rival the Shogun's light when first forged. But the long journey from Snezhnaya back to Inazuma has left you battered and broken. It barely needs stating anymore. Your ambition is a flight of fancy. I've finally figured out why it was that you agreed to You wanted to reach a state of harmony with me. But regrettably, we are nothing alike. I will never understand your obstinacy and cruelty, nor can I empathize with the only one who truly understood you had already passed away by the time you were born.
Huh?
Here they are! Take them down!
Where do they keep coming from? Yup! We can help this time!
Don't worry. I'll use my own. It's just more of the same.
It's my lucky day!
One with nature.
Take this!
Time to go. Fallen leaves, adorn my night!
You fought way better with your own sword!
You are a true Kaedehara in flesh, and no one knew anything of my story throughout my travels, nor did I thought that if I could achieve Ishin harmony with you.
But in this too, you have failed.
Indeed. No matter how hard I tried, too much time has passed. My physical state, yours, is the blade that took on the Muso no Hitotachi. And what a magnificent blade it is. Perhaps I shall never reach that level.
Actually, this is just a generic blade that I picked up during my travels in Liyue. Forging and maintenance are both important for a blade. This blade has traveled the land with me for many years, and we have formed a close bond during that time. Plus, in the moment that I most needed it, I received aid from another power, skill, blade, determination, and desire. All these must be aligned in the practice. There is something else I must tell you. Though your maker may not have been aware, your ability to possess your own consciousness to Tarigami is a malevolence from the ancient past. Though you tried to cooperate with me while I was wielding you, the part...
I sensed it, but I couldn't change.
I resisted its temptations because I wanted to save Amenoma Yuya. But I feel a great sense of regret for you. The moment you embarked on this journey, you lost the only person who could have ever unleashed your true potential. You have known this for a long time.
He gave me everything. My life, my form, my consciousness, and purpose. How could I possibly deny him his wish? I said to him, "Do not worry, from here on I shall forge you." How could I go back on...
I believe our bet is now settled. I have not...
Where are you going? Kazuha?
He now has neither the ability nor the motivation to cause further harm. When I touched the hilt for the first time, a bladesmith lay quietly on the bed. A newly forged blade lay by his side.
Wow.
Indeed. While in exile in Snezhnaya, the bladesmith eventually learned the truth behind He spent the rest of his life in the forge. Not to vent his frustration and hatred. He felt intense regret at being tricked by the Fatui, but he could never again return to his homeland. His sole wish was to one day return his single, proudest creation back to the land, so he instructed this sentient blade to find a way back to Inazuma, no matter how long or how hard the journey. All he wanted to show was that they once shone brilliantly as blade and smith, that they were still worthy of being trusted.
So that's the true story. But after that, the blacksmith's intentions were worked by the Tatarigami, slowly turning his proud creation into the...
Right. I believe the bladesmith might never have known that the power he worked with was that of the Tatarigami. This blade has committed unforgivable atrocities, but only because it lost... Yes. Time would not wait or stop because of his determination. He seems to have calmed down, though.
When I look back at the past, I can remember the day of my forging like it was just yesterday. I once told him that I would pay any price to fulfill his wishes. Such was the... But darkness and slaughter numbed the mind. Over time, I lost sight of the... Not only did I fail to fulfill his ambition...
You are finally seeing reality.
Since we agreed to the terms of the bet, I will honor the agreement, but I still cannot bring myself to forsake his... So, may I ask you to help me...
Hey! Now you're adding yours into the mix too?
It has to be done in this order. At least hear what I have to say. And if you don't agree, I will still release Ame no Mayuya at my physical form as well.
His attitude hurt? What do you think, Kazuha?
Let's hear it.
Thank you all. When I was first forged, my maker was already terminally ill. Alas, after that, nor have I ever had the chance. My fights were devoid of any noble meaning. They were merely the next step. You are a fine warrior. I would like to request your hand in battle and experience a
Oh?
I will release Ame no Mayuya and restore his consciousness. Perhaps after that, you can convince him to commit to a... You must have plenty of reasons to both hate me and...
Understood. Then let's start by waking him up.
I see. He used my body to inflict harm on others. I utterly despise him and his actions. But since he stayed true to your agreement by releasing me, he must still have some remaining semblance of honor. If a duel can help to set this state of affairs in order, I do not wish to be a mere victim in this story.
There's no need to worry. We'll vouch for your innocence to the Terry.
Thanks for your help. Who knows how this would have ended without your...
All right, then let's move on. More Ronin could appear at any moment. We can't... In any case, for a final duel, I think we should...
This reminds Paimon a bit of the Crook's crash. Yep, we still can't let our still. Even if he's are you ready?
Ready? Okay. Successor of Ishin art, Kaedahara Kazuha.
Successor of Amenoma art, Amenome Yuya.
Honored to cross blades with you.
It is my honor also.
Wind strider. As one with wind and cloud.
My apologies.
Thank you for the experience, although he appears battered and broken. In your hands, it seems he's regained a glimmer of brilliance. His sense of savage cruelty has completely faded away. But
you also fought well. I'm sure there are a few things that I shall leave him to tell you himself.
I must apologize to you for all that has transpired.
You need not seek my forgiveness. Nor do I have the right to forgive you on your victim's behalf. It is too late for all of that.
I do not wish for forgiveness. I only hope that you will see my transgressions as I strayed far from the straight and narrow path, but the Ishin art still has a worthy successor in Kaedahara Kazuha. I beseech you, please understand this.
Yes, I too trust Mr. Kaedahara to do the right thing.
Thank you, successor of Amenoma art.
This blade has also told me that he has another wish. He would like to visit the Maybe we can go back there together.
What does he want to go?
I'm not sure, but...
Whirling snow! Rev the engines!
It's Yuya! You have returned!
I am sorry to have troubled you. It's all thanks to them that I was able to return safely.
A prized Ishin blade, turned weapon that controls the human mind. Considering their forging philosophy, this was indeed within the realm of possibility. This is a great pity. But I have some good news as well. Ryuji from the Bonton...
Really? Is he okay?
Yes, badly wounded. And now that Yuya is back, it seems like the final end...
I think I know what you want to do.
What's wrong, Kazuha?
Yes. He said he wants to take control of me.
What? No way!
He tells me that he's thought of another way to fulfill his maker's wish. And he assures me that he won't use my body. I have decided to let him do it.
But he...
Thank you. Okay. I am ready. Let us begin. Please.
My power is almost spent. Without him, my eventual demise is inevitable. But if I abandon the future to give everything I have in this moment, my physical form can be forged anew.
Everything? You mean...
Yes. The cost is my entire consciousness. You were right. There's nothing that I can accomplish now. But there's still a chance for Ishin art. Once remade, I will be a valuable resource for your studies. Ishin lives on, and its finest hour is yet to come. Even if I am not the one to prove its might to the Shogun, as long as it is an Ishin blade, crafted by Kaedehara hands, it will still fulfill his final wish. Thank you, son of the Kaedehara clan. Over the years, my real name has been forgotten by all. I'm ashamed to utter it, yet it remains strong in my mind. Kagotsurube Ishin. This name is now yours to keep.
Rest in peace.
He said his consciousness will disappear forever after
Kagotsurube Ishin. It seems like deep down he disapproved of his own actions, and thus chose to bury this name deep within his heart, only in the final moments.
Seems like he really
The same fervent ambition that gave him the motivation, speaking for myself. I'd rather see him recognize and atone for his mistakes. I understand. Perhaps this is a flaw in my personality. Hearing his wish to rival the divine light touched something inside of me, just as the sight of those who fought to repeal the Vision Hunt decree did. Your quest to face the gods and trace your sibling inspires me in the same way. After everything I've seen, perhaps these pursuits fascinate me.
Oh, Kazuha!
I will continue to support you from this point on. Know that you will have my assistance whenever you need it.
Wait! Shouldn't we also go update...
Oh, you're right. And it's also time to give him a response to the offer he made.
You've returned. I hear that the issue has been resolved. Though this was a treacherous investigation indeed, the Tenryou Commission has already attended to the danger at the warehouse. The investigation into Amanome Yuya...
Wow! You sure kept your...
Then we needn't recount all the details again. Now, as to your earlier offer, I wish to give you my answer.
What's this?
Kagotsurube Ishin. A weapon crafted using a long-lost blade forging art of the Kaedehara clan. By means of a series of fortuitous events, I was able to recover and restore him. I also promised him that I will continue to study, and so it looks like I will likely continue with my journey across the nation.
I see. I understand.
The Kaedehara clan has always been a family of bladesmiths. So it is, were I to accept your goodwill, I may find myself embroiled in conflicts between the shogunate and Sangonomiya. That would not suit me.
You misunderstand. That was
I am aware, but I still desire...
Very well, I can understand. However, if you should ever change your mind or find yourself...
Great. Thank you.
Where will you travel to next, Captain?
I'll probably take to the seas with Captain Beto again for now. As for my next destination, let's see where the wind takes me.
You must have a whole bunch of questions after our last conversation with Nahida. I'm always ready to ask her a million... Descenders. So, does that just mean people like you who come traveling to Teyvat from someplace